Hey guys, and welcome back to Everything Anime Podcast for the first month of Spooktober. Hey guys, thanks for checking out my videos. Here at the Everything Anime Podcast, where I cover everything from anime, manga, video games, TV shows, and a relevant topic we feel like talking about. For the month of October, which we're calling Spooktober, we are reviewing everything monster-related, everything scary-related, anything that I consider Halloweenish for the month of October. There will be other videos sprinkled in, including finishing the ranking every One Piece movie ever. We have 3 more movies to go through. Infamous will be thrown in there, as well as Infamous Festival of Blood, which I believe should be coming out before this video. And some movies for the first time we're reviewing, as well as The Vampire Diaries, which is a show I loved as a kid, but we'll get into that all later. For now, let's talk specifically about Demon Slayer. So again, if you haven't seen my Everything Was I Wrong About Demon Slayer video, what I'm doing is I'm reviewing Demon Slayer from the beginning of the manga for the first time ever. I was never interested in Demon Slayer. I was not. I was like hardcore One Piece, hardcore Bleach, hardcore Naruto, hardcore like Assassination Classroom, a little bit of Jujutsu Kaisen. I got into that late too. Zatch Bell, Rave Master, Shaman King, Yu Yu Hakusho, Zombie. Okay, I can go down a whole list of like 100 anime, okay? I was into a lot of anime, but Demon Slayer just was not getting my attention. I don't know what it was. I know it came out with the new big three. One Piece, Black Clover, and My Hero. No, it was One Piece, My Hero, and Black Clover. I was drawn immediately to see Black Clover. I kind of liked My Hero, but we know how I feel about My Hero right now. But Demon Slayer, I was like, child, that is not for me. But one day I had off work in New York, Long Island. My friend lived too far away to go see him, and he wasn't going to drive out to see me, which was whatever. But I had the day off and I was bored. And they were showing Demon Slayer Mugen Train at the theater next door, $5. I was like, I can go see this movie, but I have no idea what Demon Slayer is about. So I watched season 1, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I did not pay attention. Half the time I was on my phone. I looked up a couple times. I was like, this is kind of interesting. I saw the fight with the spider demon. I saw the fight with the drum demon. I saw the fight with Zunetsu using his thunderclap and flash. Like, there was a lot that I did enjoy. But overall, I was like, I understand enough. I'm gonna go see this movie. I actually loved the movie. The movie was great for the first half. Now, I understand now, reading the manga, watching up to season 4, because I'm in the Swordsmith village just last night from Netflix, but I didn't understand why when the fire guy took over for the final fight, it got dragged out, and his death got dragged out, because I was like, I don't know this guy. This guy's been on screen for to my knowledge, he had been on screen for 10 minutes when we met the Hashiras, and then he was asleep most of the movie on the train with some backstory sprinkled in. But I was just I don't feel hold on guys, sorry. Uploading something real fast. But I was to my knowledge, I don't really know who this character is that well. But yeah, I just felt his death was dragged out. I was he seems like an important character, but I don't know him enough to care about his death the way it's dragged out. It was the third Hokage. When the third Hokage died, I felt he deserved that funeral. He deserved that whole funeral scene. We had knew the third Hokage for a while. We had seen the third Hokage fight. We had grown to love the third Hokage. But the Fire Hashira, I was I didn't really get much from you. You gave me a guy sensei for sure, but I didn't know much about him. But anyways, what made me start reviewing the manga was, as I said, I've been reading Dr. Stone from the beginning. I have no knowledge of Dr. Stone. I know nothing about Dr. Stone at all. But I was I also don't really know nothing about Demon Slayer. I know people love it. I know Demon Slayer ended, and I was it can't be that long. So I was I might as well just knock out the manga. If I do pass it at some point in the anime, I'll still probably watch the anime because I like watching anime and reading manga. But I was maybe I could review it for my channel just because I'm doing Dr. Stone brand new. And so, like I said, right now I am in the Swordsmith village on the anime, but the manga kind of flies pretty fast anyway, so I'm pretty sure I'll pass the Swordsmith village in no time. Anyways, that's a little intro to the video about why I started reviewing Demon Slayer. So you will hear me talk about things that you probably already know, things that I already probably know, but some of it will be brand new to me eventually. And we'll see how fast I can catch up with that. Anyways, guys, let's get into the video without further ado. Hey guys, thanks for checking out another one of my videos. This is the sponsored part of the video where I talk about the 2 new books I have coming out for this year. For the month of October, which we're calling Spooktober, I have 2 new books, Love Be Liberated and Alucard. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Shinry. I'm the author of the Shinry series, The Chronicles of Wayne, and The Monsterverse. The Chronicles of Wayne is finally ending this year with Love Be Damned as the first book, Love Be Caged as a sequel, and Love Be Liberated as a trilogy. Now, I don't want to spoil this book too much, especially if you haven't read the Love Be Damned series. But basically, Wayne is a nerdy kid at school. He falls in love with the hottest guy at school because, of course, he does. And the guy turns out to be a werewolf. Wayne gets bitten. He becomes the first ever wolfman in the last decade, and some craziness ensues. Vampires, white witches, dark warlocks, and a... Oh, I can't spoil it because that's the reveal of the last book, the Love Be Liberated. But I can tell you, if you have enjoyed the Love Be Damned series, you are going to love Love Be Liberated. Love Be Liberated. Sorry. It is the best ending I think I could have gave it. All the characters are given justice. And the way it ends is... it's kind of like a kiss to my fans that love the Love Be Damned series. Now, Alucard is the first book in the Monsterverse. It does take place in the Love Be Damned universe. However, Alucard will take place 300... it starts out 300 years before the events of Love Be Damned take place. And then when we do get to present day, it's 10 years before Love Be Damned actually starts. So you'll get introduced to Alucard, and then after that we have Jevudon, which is the Beast of Jevudon. If you don't know what that is, that's the first ever Wolfman, or first ever confirmed Wolfman. After that we have Imhotep, and then it will end with Monster, which is Frankenstein. And Imhotep being the Mummy. Again, these are my first 2 new books coming out this year in the month of October, or Spooktober, and I'll be sponsoring them in all of my YouTube videos for October. So I hope you guys check them out. I'll make sure to have like some copies when I actually release them. But I hope you guys look forward to it. The Love Be Damned verse is for the mature audience. It's not for like young adults. I do mention that there are language, there's sexual scenes, there's a lot of violence. Unlike the Shinry series, which is more my kid-friendly, teen-friendly anime action adventure. You want to check that out if you're like a kid. But again, this is the Love Be Damned verse, as well as now the Monsterverse, and I hope you guys check it out. Let me know what you think. Again, look out for it. Once the books actually drop in October, I'll be having a bigger releasing video for that. This is just a little teaser for that. Hope you guys check it out. Thanks. All right, so where we last left off, I believe Tundra was fighting the water demon, and like 3 of them, and he had used the waterfall, whatever technique. Anyways, in this new chapter, in the beginning, we learned that the first demon ever created over 1,000 years ago was Muzan, which is the final boss and the leader of the 12 Kuzuki clan, as far as I'm aware. And this demon has the power to turn humans into demons, and possibly vice versa, because that's the whole thing that Tanjiro wants to do with his sister Nezuko, turn her back into a human. And then we go back to the main fight, and we learn that this water demon isn't 3 different demons, but like 2 of them are doppelgangers of the original. So like they're all the same demon. They just have like split personalities in different bodies, but they're all just like one demon. And this demon loves to eat 16-year-old girls, specifically because it believes they're ripe like a fruit. Like, that's very weird and strange. But again, they're demons, they're evil, so it doesn't really matter. But I see that, like, this author, he makes these demons unique, and this one specifically likes to eat 16-year-old girls. And then it collects their hairpins to remember the girls that it's eaten. And I was like, oh, shit. But that infuriates Tanjiro, and he thinks back to his family that was killed by a demon themselves. Like, you know, Tanjiro's whole family was killed, Nezuko was turned into a demon. It was written by Muzan, but that's what infuriates Tanjiro. And this demon is able to use any surface it touches to swim in, and that gives it like a high advantage. And thinking about this, it kind of reminded me of Senior Pink. Now, this is going to be some spoiler talk from One Piece. I know this is a Demon Slayer video, but like I just had to make this comparison. So in One Piece, chapter 775, Frankie is fighting this guy called Senior Pink. Senior Pink is this like grown-ass man. He's dressed like a baby. He's got like a bonnet on. He's got a diaper, and he wears a shirt. I forgot what his shirt says. But yeah, he looks ridiculous. right? And he ate the swim sim fruit. Basically, just like this water demon, any surface that he like touches, he can swim in. Like it just becomes like an ocean for him, or like water. And the reason I'm bringing this up because his backstory was tragic. Like reading this about this demon made me think back to like this thing with Senior Pink. So Senior Pink's whole thing was, is he fell in love with this woman. Senior Pink works for Doflamingo. He's a gangster, and Doflamingo's a pirate, but he's like a pirate gangster. But he fell in love with this woman, this ordinary woman, and she said like to him like she hates pirates. Like that's her number one thing she hates. And so he never told her the truth. He told her like he works at a bank. And, you know, they fell in love. They got married. They had a kid. But because he's a pirate-sized gangster, he always leaves. So at some point when he left, their child died. And she wasn't able to reach him. So she, like, called the bank where he's supposed to be worked. And she found out, like, oh, you don't work for the bank. Who are you really? And she learns that he's a pirate. This is going to be significant because they get into an argument in the middle of a storm and she ran out. She ran out to the storm. He tried to warn her. And the next following day, she's in the hospital and she got hit by a landslide and basically it turned into a vegetable. She can show no emotion. She feels nothing. Like literally what a vegetable is. Like she can't react to anything. And so Senior Pink was trying to get a reaction out of her. He puts like the baby's bonnet on. He's like, hey, doesn't this something look like our kid? But he thought that was kind of stupid. He was about to take it off. But then she smiled. She is a vegetable, guys. She smiled. Oda knows how to add like clever and great and powerful storytelling. Like that was a show don't tell. Oda knows how to do powerful storytelling with just like something that simple. But she smiled. And so from then on, he wore baby clothes all the time. He kept that bonnet on. Even though people made fun of him, his crew made fun of him, he kept that bonnet on because it always made his wife smile. That's all that he cared about was his wife. And again, just a little quick side story because this water demon had made me think about that. But again, like I said, you know, that's two different stories, but I thought you guys want to know about that little backstory. Anyways, back to the fight. Tanjiro struggles against the demon, and that's when his sister Nezuko joins the fight and kicks one of the demons in the face. And the demon's immediately confused about why a human and our demon are teaming up. We had that first happen when they fought the arm demon that had like those demons, Nezuko kicked off its head, but then arms came out of its head. And then the body was fighting. No, I think the head and arms were fighting Tanjiro, and then the body was fighting Nezuko, whatever, something like that. But it's basically the same thing. Like demons are confused about why a human and demon are teaming up. And then we see Nezuko's human side continue to peek out as she visions like one of her sister and brothers touching the head of like a human and teenage girl, and that Tanjiro was protecting. Like Tanjiro, the last time we talked, was protecting like the man and the woman behind him. Because this 16-year-old girl was like the one recently taken, and the man was looking for like his girlfriend or fiance that had been taken the night before, and like the village and family had accused him of killing her, but now they know like it's been this demon the whole time. But yeah, Tanjiro is protecting the two humans. And I also sometimes forget that Nezuko and Tanjiro are nearly the same age because he treats her like a child sometimes. Like the way he talks to Nezuko is kind of like, and it's in like a lot of the anime too. Like they always pet her head or like hold her hand like she's a kid. I'm like, I don't understand why they do that. It's just kind of weird to me, I guess. But it's just to show her humanity, I guess. But it's reinforced by the old man placing her under suggestion while she was sleeping that humans are her friends, humans are family, and demons are enemies. And he also reminds him, like, she doesn't need you to protect her. Now that she's a demon, even though she's not a swordsman, she can handle herself. She has power, she has strength. And I think that's, like, one of the most creative things because, I mean, I think that's, like, yeah, like, Tanjiro, like, you don't have to protect her. Like, she can fight for herself, and I love that because I have seen throughout the manga and anime, like, Nezuko can fight for herself, and Tanjiro doesn't have to keep, like, protecting her. I mean, there are times, like, they're both will struggle, but I just noticed that. And another thing this demon can do with this blood art is pull people underwater. And it reminded me something of Rave Master, where this guy, I forget his name, But and in Rave Master, it's very short. Like Rave Master is like a counter of Fairy Tail. I know I'm bringing up other anime and manga, but it's just like to give some comparisons and like just to show my knowledge about other anime and manga. But there is this in Rave Master. There's these things called Rave Stones, and then they're like they give like the heroes power, but then counter them are Shadow Stones, which gives the villains power. And one of the Shadow Stones was like, this guy could pull people into walls and stuff like that and leave them there to be crushed. Like your body would just eventually get crushed. And so I thought it was interesting that like this water demon can pull people underwater and basically like drown them and crush them between the water pressure. But inside this underwater gravity, Tanjiro can still move, but he just feels weighed down by gravity. And it's also here that Tanjiro can sense all the people that the demon has killed. And so Tanjiro says he's going to use like a dangerous move to finish like the two remaining demons under there with him, called Whirlpool. And with it, he decapitates like two of the demons. And then on the surface, we have Nezuko holding her own against the demon until Tanjiro returns to help her. But before killing it, he demands to know about the original demon Muzan, which he declines, or rather says he can't. And that's going to come up later. Why? So I kind of like that he planted his planted seeds, foreshadowing in about why the demon can't talk about Muzan, because the demon's horrified even just thinking about mentioning its names, and you can see like a shiver go down its spine and all that. And so with no information learned, Tanjiro decapitates the demon, and then again the battle comes to an end. Nezuko goes to rest, and she can't eat human blood. That's what she does. She like just sleeps all the time. And then Tanjiro goes to check on the humans, he said, but the humans in shock, and that's understandable because, you know, like the demons are real, your girlfriend's been killed, and you almost got killed yourself. But Tanjiro reminds him of something that we say as humans, despite many bad things that's happened, we will continue, and bad things will continue to happen. You have to keep going. And this upsets the man because no adult wants to be talked down to by a child, but he can see through Tanjiro's eyes that like he's gone through a lot. Like he doesn't know that Tanjiro like lost his family and stuff like that. But I mean, being a demon slayer so young, that's already a big thing. And it reminded me of a quote from Oda. Oda said, "Don't forget to smile in any situation. As long as you're alive, there will be many things. There will be better things later, and there will be many." Short little quote by Oda, but like it kind of reminded me of that. Like I believe like a lot of these like people might collab, like the authors and manga artists, or like, you know, just like we all have similarities in thinking like that. But I thought it was really cute. And then the man, like he sees like through, like I said, through Tanjiro, like he's been through a lot despite him being so young. And then as the chapter comes to an end, we immediately leave because, I mean, that's kind of just what happens. Like, after we finish something in Demon Slayer, we just go to the next thing. Like, other anime, there's like a break period. There's like a little rest period. But like Demon Slayer just keeps going and going and going. So, again, I do think this is going to be like a quick anime to get through. But Tanjiro is leaving and heading to his next destination. And he's like angered and ready to face Muzan because like, he's like, you know, he wants to save his sister, and he's pissed off about all these demons that are like he's created. And again, like I said, like it just moves really fast. Like we go from like fighting one demon to another. There's like no break. There's no build up of the world or nothing like that. I mean, you get build up of like people that he encounters, but like there's no real build up of the world itself. But the next city we immediately go to, there's no travel scene, no montage. We're just there, and Tanjiro's overwhelmed by the city, the city nightlife. And I guess it's like if you lived in a small town in like, I don't know, Montana, and then you move to New York City, it is like quite a culture shock. So I guess I understand that. But once he's there, he picks up on the same scent of the demon that killed his family in the beginning of the story, and he immediately finds him, and it turns out to be the big bad demon, Michael Jackson. I'm just kidding. It turns out to be Muzan. But oddly enough, he's with a human family. He's got a wife and a child. And I've been curious about this since the reveal in the anime. Like, does his family not notice that he has like demonic eyes or something? Or is like they under like a spell? Or like, if they do know he's a demon, he's trying to create like a hybrid family. But then, like, that doesn't also seem true because the daughter is completely human. Like, Tanjiro confirms that the wife and the mother and child are human. So I don't understand, like, why he's with the human family. Unless he's, like, trying to use them as a shield, which would make sense. Or, I don't know. I guess I'll have to see where that goes. But, yeah, I don't understand why he's with a human family if he hates humans so much. Yeah, just something I thought was weird. And then we see not only how he creates new demons, but that he's ruthless. Like, he will turn a random human into a demon in a crowd of people to save himself. And he does it in the blink of an eye, like, faster than, like probably the speed of light. Like, he does it. He transforms this human in the middle of a crowd of people into a demon. And the demon immediately attacks his wife. And, there's confusion because most people don't seem like they know about demons. Even though they see his face and they see, like, how he's acting and how he bit his wife, they think he's, like, on drugs or something. And Tanjiro manages to, like, subdue the demon despite everyone's confusion. And he assesses that, like, the wife will be okay. But meanwhile, Muzan is like, hey, let's get out of here. I don't know what's going on. Like, he basically, like, who shit on the coats? And if you don't know what that means, it's like, okay, you know how, like, this is a better reference, but who shit on the coats is the same thing as, like, did somebody just fart? Like, even though you're the one that farted in a small room, you say, did somebody just fart? So you take the blame off yourself. And that's what Muzan did. He's like, oh, I don't know what's going on. I did just create this demon, but I don't know what's going on with that man. Let's get out of here. And as Muzan begins to flee, Tanjiro declares out loud that he will follow him to hell and back. And this is, of course, to save his sister, avenge his family, and, because he's a demon slayer, it's his job to kill. It's his job to kill kill demons. But then we see Muzan have his own flashback to an encounter with the demon slayer that Tanjiro reminds him of because of the earrings. Now, since I'm currently in the Swordsmith village, I have seen this demon slayer that, like, has the earrings, and I thought it'd be Tanjiro's father, but apparently it's not. So this guy's, like, kind of like Goldie Roger-ish. Not literally, but, like, he gives me that impression, but when you hear his backstory to Tanjiro's father, he's like, oh, I'm a nobody. We're not there yet in the manga, so I'm not going to go too much into that detail, but, like, I just thought it was interesting, like, Muzan is scared of this demon slayer that claims that, like, he couldn't protect anything and he's nothing or something like that, but we'll see when we get there. Anyways, we don't have time to worry about that because the local police show up to come, like, subdue the man, believing he's under some kind of drugs. And Tanjiro doesn't come out right and tells him that he's a demon because, like, they probably lock him in a loony bin, but he does try to convince them, like, hey, I'm the only one that can stop him. You guys can't do anything. Just let me handle this. And I was curious about how all this would resolve. Because if Tanjiro lets this newborn demon go and let the police arrest him, all the humans there wouldn't be able to stop him. Like, he would slaughter and kill everybody. But that's when two new demons show up. Lady Tamayo, who is a doctor, and then her firstborn demon that's in love with her, Yushirio, I believe. And the Tamayo's goal is the same as Tanjiro. She wants to see Muzan dead. She wants to kill him. And we get a glimpse of what Muzan's up to in the background because he makes an excuse to leave his family. And I was thinking more than likely to go kill Tanjiro himself. But as he makes his way down this alley, he runs into some humans who are looking for, like, some trouble. And immediately, without hesitation, he kills one of them because, like, they like, kind of harass him. Like, he seemed like he was going to let them go, which maybe, like, shows, like, a little bit of his own humanity, like how he has this, like, human wife and child. But, like, this guy was, like, persistent. He was like, no, I don't like the way you look. I like the way you dress. And he, like, knocks out this, like, first guy with the back of his hand. And then he Sanji kicks the second one into the air, like this big-ass dude, into the air. And just, like, I believe that guy's either going to die from the fall or he probably got his neck broken. But the last one is probably the most cruel I've ever seen. So after, like, taunting her and asking her about, like, do you think I look weird? Do you think I look ugly? Do you think my complexion looks off? He stabs his hand through her forehead, and then he forces her body to, like, basically explode inside out by injecting her with too much demon blood. I don't remember that in the anime, but, man, that is, like, one sick way to go. Like, I'd rather just be, like, backhand killed by, the first guy, or probably not even Sanji kicked in the air, because I'd probably fall back and be scared about dying. Just backhand me and kill my ass. I don't want no figure in my head or not like that, no. He then snaps his fingers and he commands two new demons to appear, which I believe their names are Kimari and Yabahaba or something like that. I might be butchering these names. I'm not going back and watching nothing. But in the following chapter, we get like some humor about Nezuko's looks. Like Yushiro is in love with Yamato, and he's only in love with Teyoma. Yamato? No, not Yamato. Teyoma. He's in love with her only, and he thinks all other women are ugly. And Tanjiro tries to convince him that his sister is beautiful, but he refuses to acknowledge it. Just like a random humorous joke. And then as we get to the doctor's hidden clinic, which is hidden by Yushiro's like magic blood demon art, we learned that the woman and the man that was turned into a newborn demon have been like stored here. And she says that the woman will be fine, but the man has to be locked up in confinement until they find a way to reverse like the change of him becoming a demon, because unleashing him will just slaughter his wife and others that he comes in contact with. And then Tanjiro comments like, how can she be a demon and a doctor and not want to kill humans that she treats? And it angers Yushiro immediately because, like, like I said, he's in love with her. He'll defend her to the rest of his life. She explains that she like altered her body to rely only on the smallest amount of human blood to survive. Or sometimes they like buy like blood bags or like get it through blood transfusion instead of stealing it or attacking people. Which Tanjiro thought was weird, but he can tell that she's telling the truth. She also comes out and says that she's the one that made Yushiro. She's the only demon she's ever created in 200 years. And I thought that was interesting because Muzan can create as many demons as he wants. And the fact that she can even create one is interesting. So that means Muzan is definitely more powerful than her. Which we know that because he's like 1,000 years old. And the older a demon is, or the more a demon's killed or blood it's drank, the stronger it is. We know that too. So I thought that was interesting and I like that. Yeah, and like I said, Yushiro is deeply in love with her because like she gave him the choice, which you find out later and like a backstory because he was like sick, he was gonna die. But she didn't create Yushiro to make an army of demons. She did it because she's a doctor and she wants like more time to create cures for incurable diseases and untested like treatments. Like she becoming a demon and being a doctor, she has unlimited time to do that. And she even gives demons the option. I mean, she even gives humans the option to become demons. Like she's like, hey, like, you won't survive this, disease, but if you become a demon, you will. But she gives them that option. And yeah, Tanjiro immediately trusts her because you can tell everything she says is truthful. He then asks if there's a way that demon can be made into a human, or like he's talking about his sister. And before she can answer, that's when Muzan's demons show up. And that's when Muzan's demons, we find out that they track down the location of the hidden clinic. And that's when we go back and she gets Tanjiro to answer saying, there's a cure to every disease that exists. We just don't know the cure to the demon-making process yet. However, she plans to find out how to reverse it, but she needs two things. One, a sample of Nezuko's blood because Nezuko seems to have most of her humanity intact. And then two, a high concentration from every demon Muzan created, which would be the upper... Not just the upper 12, I thought they were all upper demons, but like there's upper and lower demons in it. But basically the Kuzuki 12, like she needs those because they're like the highest demons he has. And then Tanjiro, of course, agrees because he wants to save his sister. And he also believes that he can save others who've been turned into demons like the man from before. And then it's at this moment the clinics attack and Kimari and Yahaba arrived and they attack. And so the female demon uses like a Tamari ball, which kind of reminds me of a dodgeball, which when she tosses it forward, it like ricochets off something and like continues to attack and like keep going until it loses momentum. And Tanjiro fears about protecting like the two demons, but that's when he's like reminded by Tamayo, like, hey, you don't have to protect us, we're demons. Like, you don't have to protect Nezuko either, which is something he had learned from the old man previously, which I wish he had just remembered because, like, yeah, you don't have to protect them. If they're demons, demons can't, demons themselves, we learn later, can't kill each other. Like, they can only be killed by Nichiren Zords or the sun. So, like, you don't have to worry about us being attacked by other demons. Like, we'll heal. It's fine. And now, one thing about the other Demon Slayer, whenever Tanjiro uses like a new attack, oh yeah, this is something about Demon Slayer itself. Like whenever Tanjiro uses a new attack or a different style, I feel indifferent to it because like in other anime, when a character uses a new technique, it's like hype because you've never seen it before. But like you've also seen them trained and stuff like that. But when it happens in Demon Slayer, it's just like I don't know. It's like he uses so many different techniques at once that like there's no hype or build up unless it's like a really cool or special new move, like when he uses fire later. Because I was like, like when he started just naming off a bunch of attacks back to back to back, I was like, I don't really understand what's going on, but whatever, it's fine. But he uses another technique to pierce one of the balls, but it does little to stop it because like it slows down the momentum, but it still like hits him. And then that's when Yashiro goes off on a tangent about wanting to protect Tamio and hating humans or some shit. Just like some little random thing in the background. And that's when one of the demons, the girl Tamari, claims that she's one of the 12 Kizuki. And that reminded me of something like I was thinking about like the Espada, because as I said, I'm in the Swordsmith Village arc for the anime, and I remember like they were talking about how like there's upper rank demons and lower rank demons. I remember like the Espada in Bleach and like the Iran cars, and like how there's Espada and then there is like Privion Espada, which are like the weaker version of Espada. Like the Espada, there's only 10 Espada who are like the strongest. So I guess like 6 of the upper rank demons are like the strongest, and then maybe 6 of the lower rank demons are the weakest. I don't really know. But anyways, it turned out like they're not actually one of the 12 Kizukis anyway, so it didn't matter. We then learned that Tamari has 6 arms and 6 Tamari balls, which if they had trouble with just one before, they're in for the worst. And as the battle begins anew, Tanjiro does manage to cut 3 of the balls and lose momentum, but they still attack him anyway. And he realizes like something's wrong. Like when a ball doesn't hit anything and just changes direction, he suspects like it's the work of a second demon's blood art. And that's when Yushiro tosses him like this like kind of spell tag like in Shaman King, and it allows Tanjiro to see like the invisible arrows attached to the balls. And that's when Tanjiro realizes that there's a second demon hiding in a tree. And so immediately Nezuko goes to attack the second one, which is Yabahaba. And once again, we have the pair fighting off 2 demons at once. Tanjiro declares to get their blood to use as samples for the doctor, and he's determined to win. And that's when Yushiro warns him. He's like, hey, the 12 Kizuki are way stronger than normal demons, so you got to stay on your toes. And then he looks to the Dr. Tommy. I thought this part was funny. He looks to the Dr. Tommy. He's like, hey, let's ditch him. We'll use him as like a meat shield to escape. And like, we'll get away. And she like gives him this horrified look. And it was pretty funny. But anyways, so the arrow demon can tell, we can tell that he has like some kind of OCD, like clean freak, maybe when he was alive. Because like earlier when his partner like touched his kimono, he talked about like his kimono getting dirty, and then when Nezuko tries to kick him in the face, he's like, you're kicking up dirt, that's disgusting. So as I said, at least like with the water demon and the previous demons, the hand demon before that, like the demons have personalities. They're not just like monsters and blank slates that you like just insert demon here with ability. It's like, hey, they have like this like personality thing. And so like, for example, like the demon with the arrows, the reason why like he has arrows to push people away is because he doesn't want anybody getting near him that he considers dirty. So I understand that. And then we learn later after Tanjiro beats the Tamari ball demon. I think her name is Kimari. Whatever her name was. I'll figure it out in a second. Anyways, whoever uses the volleyball demon, she was a kid and she wants to play, and that's like her thing. So I like that these demons, like their blood arts kind of like reflect some part of who they are. Which I don't even think we got anything from the water demon after the water demon died. I don't remember. If there was something, I don't remember it, or it wasn't important. But I do think something was there, but I probably forgot it. Anyways, Tanjiro immediately sees the thread on the arrow demon's neck. Oh, yeah. So, the arrow demon seems to be too much for Nezuko. So Yushiro tells Tanjiro, like, hey, switch up opponents. Me, Tamio, and Nezuko will take on the ball woman, and you take on the arrow demon. And Nezuko's will to fight is revitalized, vigiling like her mother and one of her siblings as like the two demons behind her. And the pair are race off, eager to fight their opponents. Now, Tanjiro, when he faces the arrow demon, he immediately senses like a thread, and he tries to go to cut it. But like I said, again, the Yabahaba, the arrow demon, he's like you're dirty. Stay away from me. I thought that was pretty funny. And we also see that the arrow demon has eyeballs on his hand, which he uses to control the arrows that he manifests. And they're like kind of like giant like physical platforms that they can go through you as well. But when the eyeballs close, that's when like a new direction is like changed. Whew, goodness, sorry guys, a lot of notes I'm going through. We then learned that Tamio may have been one of the 12 Kuzuki, which the demons are now interested in capturing. So they want to capture they want to like decapitate Tanjiro's head, and they want to capture her. It's not confirmed that she's one of the 12 Kuzuki, which I don't even think she is, but like they're just like interested in her for a reason. But in Nezuko's fight, she tries to kick one of the balls that the Tamari balls that are kicked at her. But like the moment like it hits her leg, it like severs it. And then we learn through like Tanjiro's inner dialogue that the arrows are so fast that they can't be cut with his Zord, because the moment they make contact with his Zord, they like just send him off in whatever random direction they're facing. And the arrow demon can create as many arrows as he wants. It's like unlimited. And whew. Yeah, so the arrow demon's name is Yabahaba. I see that in my notes. And then the Tamari ball demon is Kimari. That's way too close. That's why I got them confused. But he surprises Yabahaba by, like, whenever he, like, hits him with one of his arrows, he, like, follows the arrow's direction instead of fighting it. And it basically helps Tanjiro decapitate this demon. And I thought that was really cool because, like, Tanjiro's like, I'll use a defensive style. Like, instead of, like, fighting the way the arrow goes, I'll just follow it. And I think he uses, like, Whirlpool or something to decapitate him. And, like, he doesn't immediately die, but, like, he's dying. And so now, like, Yabahaba's pissed and uses, like, a more violent technique, like a bunch of arrows to strike through Tanjiro to try to kill him. And this is what I mean, like, where Tanjiro uses, like, so many different techniques. I don't understand, like, what the hell's going on. Because, one, I don't know all these moves, and then two, he's using them so fast. Like, it's all in one panel. So, these arrows are sending him in a bunch of different directions, like, kind of basically making, like, hit, like walls or go up in the air and fall to his death and things like that. But, like, I felt like it'd be more impactful if, like, he had, oh, my God, my nose. Sorry about that. I felt like it'd be more impactful if, like, you had shown, like, a panel where him hitting a wall or breaking these bones. Because, like, in the end, he breaks parts of his body. But I feel like it'd be more impactful if you would show him, like, hitting something or using a technique to save himself at the last second. Something like that. And I know in the anime, you know, they can do it more expanded. But I've seen it in manga where you can, like, display more of that. But anyways, the Yabahaba's killed. And Tanjiro's weakened and his body's beaten up. And he, like, basically grabs his Zord in his mouth and he like crawls away to help his sister Nezuko because he's like, I want to help her. So Nezuko, who's been holding her own against, well, not holding her own, she was fighting with Yushiro and Tamio. She had her leg accelerated, like her healing on her leg accelerated through one of Tamio's drugs because Nezuko can't heal naturally. She has to sleep in order to heal. And so the battle ensues, like, with them kicking and throwing the ball back and forth at, like, a heightened speed and power. And we see, like, Nezuko's getting stronger, but she's not getting stronger because of the drug that Tamio gave her, because Tamio's like, well, the drug just healed her. I didn't do anything else. This is Nezuko, like, physically getting stronger through her own willpower. So I thought that was pretty cool. Because we know that normal demons consume human blood to get stronger, but we know that Nezuko sleeps. So Nezuko getting stronger just through willpower, I thought was pretty dope. Still, Tamio knows that, like, Nezuko isn't strong enough to beat one of the 12 Kizuki, and so she tries to, like, offer a distraction. And that's when she uses her own power, which kind of acts like a truth serum of sorts. I don't really understand it, but basically she like starts taunting Kamari about like Muzan. She's like, oh, he's weak, and he keeps demons separated to keep them from rising up against him. And Kamari starts freaking out, and I was honestly confused because we haven't seen much of Muzan to like know that he's afraid of other demons or being outnumbered or whatever. But anyways, it forces Kamari to speak his name, and that's when we see what happens if you talk about Muzan, because like I said, that happened with the water demon where Tanjiro almost got the water demon to talk about Muzan or say anything about him. But the moment you say Muzan's name, if you're a demon that's been created by him, these demonic hands come out of your body and like basically rip you apart. And one of the hands reach out and they grab Kamari's head and just crush it. And I thought that was crazy. I was like, ooh, that's a gnarly way to die. But both of these demons are now officially dead. We learned that from Tamado. This is where we learned like demons fighting each other are pointless because they can't kill each other. It has to be by sunlight or it has to be by Nichiren Zord. However, Muzan's power, because he creates these demons, it attacks like demon cells if they say his name. Like it's like a curse, and it allows him to kill them. And then post this battle, we learned that neither of these demons were actually one of the 12 Kizuki. So, because the 12 Kizuki has like numbers in either one eyeball or both. And so I thought that was pretty interesting because I have seen that, like I said, in the Swordsmith art that I'm currently watching on the anime. Tanjiro has then is surprised to learn that she considers them like too weak because he's like by far the strongest opponents he's faced so far. So he knows he has to get a lot stronger in the future. And then there's some random humor about Yushiro holding a napkin over Tanjiro's mouth too long because Tanjiro hasn't taken it for himself yet. He was doing that like to keep Tanjiro from falling under Tamiyo's like magic spell that she had cast or whatever. But once again, after Tanjiro defeated a demon, he grabs an object. In this case, it's the Tamari ball that Kamari was using, and we realized that she was a child turned into a demon. And that's like, I know, like I said, a reoccurring theme. Like, he feels compassion for demons that he killed because they were at one point human. And so the short little backstory is that, like, she has to play, like, hey, I want to play, like, you know, ball or whatever. And that's when, you know, you learn, like, Muzan manipulated her, believing that she was one of the 12 Kizuki, which is supposed to be super strong, but she wasn't actually. And so he gets more angered by that. Ooh. And so something that came back to me, speaking of that, how, like, Nezuko wanted to protect, like, she visioned her mother and brother over Yushiro and Tamiyo. Because they're demons, it was interesting that, like, even though that they're demons, they're not human, so she shouldn't have saw them as family, but she did anyway. And that's when Tanjiro realizes, like, Nezuko still has, like, a mind of her own. Despite that she is put under a spell by the old man Swordsman, she still has, like, her own, like, consciousness of, like, who she wants to protect and things that she cares about. And, you know, there's, like, this little short scene of them, like, hugging it out, which surprises surprises Tamiyo, but it's very cute. I thought it was very cute, and it's pretty powerful. Yushiro then says something about, like, oh, I accept that, like, your sister is actually beautiful, which was also very cute. And before we end the chapter, they ask if Tamiyo asks, like, hey, can we keep Nezuko with us? If she stays with us, like, we can't protect her, but, like, you know, we can do, like, more experiments. And without a word being said, his sister grabs his hand and she's like, I'm sticking by your side. It's really powerful storytelling to show, not tell. And Tanjiro was even going to let them take her because he felt like she'd be safer with them. But, like, it's like his sister's like, I'm sticking by your side no matter what. So I thought it was really cute. And once again, when the chapter ends, we're off to the next adventure. Like I said, we're just going faster. But we are, in the next arc, immediately introduced to Zenitsu again, who's my second favorite character. He is harassing a female bystander, asking him to marry him before he dies. My first favorite character is the sound flashy guy with the 3 wives. I love him. I love his powers. I love his personality. I love all of that about him. But when Tanjiro gets there, he scolds him. It's in a hilarious little short scene of him hey, leave this girl alone. She doesn't want you. And then Zenitsu's like, oh, you don't understand. She likes me. And then the girl backhands him and slaps him. She's like, I never told you I liked you. You're a weirdo. I just want to make sure you're okay. I'm actually engaged. Yada, yada, yada. And she proceeds to beat him until Tanjiro stops her. And then Tanjiro gets her hilarious look, which is pretty funny. It reminds me of this scene from Attack on Titan that I want to play really fast.
Yeah, I'll inherit Aaron's Titan myself. Yeah, that should work, right?
Connie.
No, that won't work at all. You're way too much of an idiot.
Eh?
Use your head, Connie. This is a really important duty, and we can't entrust it to someone who's slow like you.
Huh?
You really get my goat sometimes. I'll inherit it, okay? I'm an experienced veteran, and I've proven that I'm someone you can rely on. By process of elimination, you've got to use me.
You guys.
I get that I have to, but still I really don't wanna.
Sasha, wait. You're not making any sense.
Huh?
I mean, you know, we can't give his Titan to an idiot. You just told me that. But think, you're more of an idiot than me, which means you just contradicted yourself, right?
Huh?
Goes on to explain how a woman tricked him into a deep depth, and then his old man trainer inherited that depth, and he went through a hella training, and he thought he would die at final selection, but he was unlucky, and now he thinks the rest of his life will be hell. Knowing what I know about the character later in the story and in the manga, or well, not in the manga, but in the story, it's really funny, but I can see how he'd be annoying. Before you ever get to that, I can see him being very annoying. He's kind of like the Usopp of this story, but more loud, more obnoxious. But after calming him down, the two walk off together. And I think it's weird that he freaks out that Tanjiro can talk to birds and animals when there's talking crows and demons that exist. I'm like, why are you so surprised that a dude can talk to birds and you literally fight demons for a living? But anyways, there's a random skip, and they get to this house. They arrive outside this wooden house, which I feel is a familiar scene because this is where the board guy comes in and the drum demon. But they're greeted by a brother and a sister outside of a house, and they're looking scared. And Tanjiro does a magic trick to try to calm them down and ease their fear, but it doesn't work. And the children exclaim inside the house there are demons, or inside this house there are monsters, which we know that they're going to be demons. And they're basically we came here anyway because our brother was taken in the middle of the night, and we followed a blood trail back to this house. And so Tanjiro's like, oh, don't worry, I'll save your brother, and I'll take care of the demons, just trying to put them at some kind of ease. And Zenitsu, who has been trying to tell him, I hear this sound inside of this, mansion, which I guess Tanjiro can't hear, or he was too focused on, the children to notice. But the doors fling open, and this man flies out. Possibly the brother, but I don't think it is, because in the game, they enter the mansion with you to look for their brother. But he flies out, and he's another victim, and he flies out, and he's like, hey, I managed to escape. And Tanjiro goes to check on him, make sure he's okay. And that's when we either hear a scream or a demonic growling, and the chapter ends there. So I thought it'd be a good place to end it, because I do want to split up the Demon Slayer manga. I normally would do it by arcs, but again, if I did it that way, because the Demon Slayer manga, even in those 10 chapters, we had the water village demon, and then we did between that we had the village where Tanjiro met the doctor and her assistant, and then we had Muzan and the Tamari ball demon and the eyeball demon, and then now we're in another arc. It flies too fast to consider these big arcs to review, unlike One Piece, where a whole arc can last 20, 30 chapters. Naruto, a whole arc can last 10, 15, 20 chapters. So I'm just gonna keep doing my 10 chapters. Dr. Stone will be different. We'll do Dr. Stone by arcs, or every 2 chapters, depending on something major happens. But that's all for this video. Hope you guys continue to check it out. Look forward to Festival of Blood, which should be dropping today as well. But either way, guys, thanks for listening. See you guys soon.